Hello and welcome to this episode of Pipeline to Profitability. I'm Alan Ferguson. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Service Success Academy. If you're a plumbing or drain business owner or manager looking to generate more revenue from your existing plumbing and drain calls without complicated or pushy sales tactics, I want to let you know that each month I work with a limited number of companies. All you have to do is email me at alan@servicesuccessnetwork.com with the words "I'm ready." I'll send you all the details. So today I'm joined for the third time by Andy Hobaica from Hobaica Services in Phoenix, Arizona. Andy's a third-generation Hobaica who has worked for his father's HVAC company since he was 12. As a technician, he was the best at creating relationships with his customers, and that's why he was the first technician in company history to hit 1 million in revenue. Andy then transferred that to becoming a comfort specialist and did $5.2 million last year. Now, Andy's got some amazing tips to share. Today, I really want to get into how do we build that winning culture within our company. And so let's bring Andy into the podcast and see where we can go with this. So welcome again to our podcast now for the third time. And I'm really excited about today's podcast, having Andy Hobaica back with us. And look, I think for those that have been following the podcast and have listened into a few previous episodes of Andy, realize how dynamic he is. And, he's a one in a, I don't know, 1 in a million individual. But where I'd like to go today, Andy, and welcome to the podcast, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Where I'd like to go today is how do we build a team that has your energy and your enthusiasm? How do we grow our companies to have more Andy Hobaicas in the lead?
Yeah. So, I always like starting with, when you're hiring people, you obviously want to hire good people. So whether they know about air conditioning or they don't, you want to make sure that they're good people and they have a good heart and they care about people. Because if they don't, I don't want that person not working for me, because if someone's coming to just clock in and work and make a paycheck, it's not the employee I need working for Hobaica. At the end of the day, I want someone that cares, has a good heart, and wants to do right by the customer. Because if you're doing right by the customer and then you can still make money doing it, then that's a win-win for everyone. And that's the kind of person I need. It's how I, work every day. I could walk into a situation, and if, it's an easy sale and the customer's ready to say yes, but they actually don't need a new air conditioning system, I'll tell them right to their face, hey, as much as I would love to, get a $20,000 check from me today, you actually can wait a couple years. So, hey, how about you give me a call when you have a bigger problem? I know I can go to bed at night and feel better about myself and know that I did the right thing. That way, if I was on my way home and I got hit by a driver and I died, I can look down and be like, man, I made the right decision. Not, hey, I just died and I screwed someone over the last time in my life because I wanted the paycheck. It's not me, and it's not who I want to work for me. So, we don't look for those people. That makes sense, right, Alan?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, look, the old saying, everything rises and falls on leadership. And you're 100% right. For a company to grow and succeed, it can't be reliant on the top performers. And this is, there's a lot of talk, and we touched on this, a lot of talk at the moment about the evolution of call by call management and all the new processes that are they're coming in to help the average technician to be able to be making better sales. But I've been around a lot of technicians, thousands of technicians over the years, and the technicians that have your energy and your enthusiasm, in my opinion, is very rare. So where I'd like to go today, and you work in an amazing organization, Hobaica Services, and we talked about the culture. So maybe we'll dig into, we're touching on the recruitment, let's maybe go into how do we improve the culture? How do we get more out of the people that we've got to actually get the best out of our companies?
Sure. Yeah, sure. And like you said, you hit it, nail on the head, culture. So it's all about culture. And that's why we outperform 90% of the companies in the area. At the end of the day, it's our culture. Now we're family owned, family run. And, this is how we run our company to where if you work for Hobaica Services, you're one of us. You're adopted into the family. You're part of the family. And it's how we treat all of our employees. There's a inside joke I'll tell a lot of people at a hiring event or wherever we are. And I'll say, working at Hobaica, everyone's treated like family unless your last name's Hobaica. And then, get some laughs out of people. But at the end of the day, we do treat everyone like family. Everyone's giving multiple chances. Everyone's giving training when they want it, even when they don't want it. But, when you're talking about culture, what we try to do is keep everyone on the same page. So we basically, if we have a process, it could be as simple as the technician that's calling the customer when they're on the way. They get to the house, they ask the customer, hey, is my truck parked in the right location? They put their booties on, they come in. I need those first 3 steps. So calling the customer, let them know you're on the way. Am I parked in the right location? Putting my booties on, coming in and starting a relationship. I need that to happen with every single technician to a T, 1 through 4, every single time. So 1, it creates that customer knowing that we're doing the same thing, that everyone's on the same page. And 2, it's all about our culture. Doing everything the same so all the technicians look like, basically, you could have Andy in your home, you could have JC, you could have Travis, you could have anyone in your home. It pretty much feels like the same person because we're all on the same page. And that's how we try to create our culture. So when you're talking about sales, I want every single one of my guys calling when we're on the way, offering the person an iced tea. We're stopping by, stopping at the store, saying, is my truck parked in the right location? Putting booties on, coming inside, starting that relationship, talk about the whole home walkabout inspection, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, my little thing we're implementing. But, just everyone's on the same page so the customer knows they're getting taken care of. So where I could sell them a system today, and then in 10 years, someone goes out and it's not me, but they're doing the same process. They might have felt, hey, have you been here before? Because, we all stick to the exact same process to make it, make the process nice and smooth. If that makes sense to you, Alan.
Absolutely makes sense to me to 100%, Andy. So I'd like to dig into, some of the, let's look into some of the things that you do to actually get that culture in place. Now, we all know that we need processes in place. I mean, that's important. And you've touched on the beginning of the service call. So if I was starting up a new company and I wanted to grow my company to, to be like Hobaica, what are some of the steps I would need to do to actually get those processes in place? Because, I go into a lot of companies and I see, and I hear the same thing, Andy, oh, my technician's not doing this, my technician's not doing that. Now it's all well and good for you and me to say, well, they must follow the process. So what are some of the things that you do to make sure that that really does happen?
Practice, role play. So every single meeting, we have a meeting at the first Tuesday and third Tuesday of every single month. And we practice and role play with our technicians every single time. So we'll randomly be like, Alan, coming on up to the front. And it'll be myself, it could be Chase, my dad, and basically we're role playing with the technician. And what's actually funny, Alan, we'll go on a different thing. I'll actually stand up and walk you over here. But inside of our training room, we created it. Some companies have done this, but we actually created a door. So it's a door on hinges, and it actually wheels around. So you can wheel this thing around in your training room. So it has your 2 sides to your doors, and basically come up to it, you knock on it, ring the doorbell. The trainer will open the door, and then you have a real life situation of, knocking at the door and you're at a customer's house. So, yeah, we'll do a lot of role play and training to make sure everyone's on the same page. And then, videos. So if you're not creating videos for your customers and or your employees, you're losing. So we've talked about in the past, if you find something at a customer's house, you're making a video to show them, hey, it's Andy. It's currently Tuesday at 3:00. We just talked in your family room. Your dog's really cute, by the way. I can't wait to come down and pet him again. I'm up here on the roof and this is what I found. And you're creating a video to show the customer that 1, this isn't fake. 2, I'm on your roof. And 3, I'm just trying to show you everything. Just want to give you your options. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's really important. But as well with training, if you have a process, you want to videotape the whole thing to where, and you can go to YouTube. My dad's got 150 videos of processes that Hobaica Services stands by. But at the end of the day, you want to make videos so it's easy for an employee to be able to watch. We actually have them on our app for all of our employees. So we created our own Hobaica Services app. And if you're a customer, you can download it for free in the App Store, Hobaica Services. And we have all of our videos up there as well. But any video that we have a process or something that we do, we just train until it gets normal for technicians to feel. And then that's how you get everyone on the same page. I hope that answered a little bit of your question.
Oh, absolutely. It morphs into some of the things that that we have done, and some of the things I teach my my clients to do now, Andy, is if you've got like the average service call, and you know, I focus more on plumbing and drains, and I know that's not your area, but you know, there is the way that we train technicians, whether it's a plumber, whether it's an electrician, whether it's a HVAC tech, it's the same psychology, right? So I'm a massive believer in training. Most companies don't train anywhere near enough. Most companies don't do the role play. And, you know, if someone is listening in and going, well, you know, that's all well and good, we haven't got the time to do this. It's really important that you make the time. And I recommend absolute minimum weekly 60 to 90 minutes, absolute minimum. Now, I do know for a fact that the companies that logistically, I mean, you know, if you're working in a really big, you know, area and all your trucks go home, sometimes it's really hard to actually do it, but you've got to find the time, you've got to make the time. But we used to take our processes and we'd deliver the process in the form of a checklist, like an 18-point checklist. This is how you run the call. We'd actually provide video training. But one of the things that I've picked up, and I'm guessing that a lot of these videos that you do with your team involved go up on social as a marketing tool as well, and that's quite powerful, right?
Correct. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And we actually have technicians share their diagnostic videos on their social media, and they can get spiffed for that. But basically, so they'll take 3 or 4 takes on the roof, so it sounds professional because they know that their friends and family are going to see the video. But it's good, and it gets people real good. And then, you know, we have a Slack channel with all of our technicians, all of our installers, all of our salespeople on different platforms to where we can share these videos and be like, man, that was really good. I liked how you presented that way. I'm going to try that at my next call. Or, you know, I really like what you said to the customer there, that you know, that really, you know, brought them to the same page and allowed them to understand what you were talking about without getting too technical, you know? So yeah, it's all about the culture and the processes. But hey, you know, Alan, like we were talking right before the podcast, my dad's starting a new venture, and it's actually called Profit Max Consultants. You want to talk about learning from the best of the best and getting those structures and getting those processes and exactly what to do step by step. You can actually hire Lou Hobaica as a personal consultant now.
Yeah, look, I'm going to hit Lou up and get him on this podcast because it's crazy. You know, we've done 3 podcasts now. It could be more. And you know, the very first time we were connected, I knew exactly who you were, and we've probably met over the years. But you really stood out to me as someone that is, you know, you live in the dream. You're actually not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. But as I said, today it was all about getting the team. Not everyone is wired like you or me. Thank God for that.
Correct.
And not in a negative way to you.
Yep.
But not everyone, we're all wired differently. We all have different personality profiles. And look, I've been training technicians for years now, understanding the profiles, understanding why we do what we do. But I still believe one of the biggest frustrations in the industry is my technician won't do ABC. and this is what I love about what you're sharing. So what are some of the videos that's great, getting that stuff out in social. It's I also, we follow a lot of the same groups and a lot of the posts where contractors are saying, Facebook is not good for marketing a service company. Well, I say bullshit to that, because
100% bullshit.
It's bullshit to the extreme, because if you've got, and I know, I'm not too sure if you're familiar with Chris Hunter and Hunter.
I know Chris personally.
Yeah, Chris, I know Chris very well, and I picked up on this. It was probably going back 10 years ago, and he had such an amazing culture, and used a lot of social out there. Admittedly, when someone's got a blocked drain or an air conditioning system that's not working, they're not going to Facebook to look for that. But if you build up a presence, and if you build up a brand, and and they can see that it's a dynamic company with Andy Hobaica,
Hey, Alan, let's back up real quick. I'm going to pause you, because now in today's day and age, they do. So obviously the older generations on Facebook, younger generations on Instagram, but most people that own their own home, more mature crowd, and especially older crowd, older like you, Alan, the old people, just joking. So they all have Facebook, and people that don't have a huge network like you and I, what do? They go onto Facebook and say, man, my air conditioner just died. I got one quote. I should get 2 or 3 more. Who do you recommend? Now, if you press comment and you read those comments, and Hobaica Services populates 9 times from 9 different people, 9 different friends, who are they going to call? So yeah, social media, 100%, and it's free. Anyone that says social media doesn't work, you need to pull your head out of your ass and actually work it right. It's just, yeah.
I love that. We've morphed from a podcast based on sales process. How do we get the team motivated, to marketing? But look, that is, besides the biggest question that I hear from my clients is, my technicians won't do what I want them to do. The other one is, we don't have enough leads, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, because 9 out of 10 companies that I work with have way more leads than they need, and I believe the leads they've got, from their existing customers, through the culture and all the positive stuff they're doing, they're the best leads, right?
Yeah, the best leads, and then word of mouth, as you know, Alan. So we have another process at the end of the technician's visit. We have a process of saying, hey, Alan, I'm so glad everything went well today. Your system's working good. You bought that new capacitor. Everything else is working good. You got a lot of time left. You're going to have a nice, smooth summer. Before I leave, I have 2 things to ask you. Do you mind doing me a favor? The customers always say, I don't mind at all. We show them a QR code. They scan it. Can you please leave me a review? And now, if it's not a 5-star review, I really want to know it, so I can actually become a better person, better technician. But if it is, please mention my name, and I'd really appreciate it. When that customer's leaving that review, they're thinking about, once again, how good the service was, and they're sharing their experience, right? And then after they agree to that, say, and you know what? I work on referrals. Anyone you can refer to Hobaica Services, we greatly appreciate it. And it's a win-win for everyone. All you got to do is tell your friends that you had a really good service, and maybe they want to try us out. 2 things are going to happen. They're going to try us out. They're going to get a $19.52 service call, because that's the year we started in business, in 1952. So they're going to get a new service for $20. They're also going to get $100 off any repair that we find, if we find one. As well, you're going to get a $100 referral from Hobaica. So it's a win-win for everyone. You're helping out a friend. You're helping out me. I'm helping you out. I'm helping your friend out as a new customer of mine. And I'll take care of them just as good as I take care of you, or maybe even a little bit better.
Freaking love it. We've, two of the biggest frustrations. Well, not, I'm sure there's a lot more than 2, but some of the biggest frustrations, that I hear, we're covering. So it's fantastic. So, look,
before you miss real quick. So if the technician gets a new customer, he's going to get a spiff from that. So it's going to be tracked that way. We give them little cards with their names, their own QR code, their own tracking number, to where if that person calls in, the customer gets their bonus, but just, hey, thanks for referring a friend. Here's $100. but the technician also gets a spiff as well. So I think it's like 25, 30 bucks. So he's going to get that. And then as well, for every Google review a technician receives with his name populated in it, we give him $50 in Hobaica bucks. Now,
Wow.
50 bucks in Hobaica bucks, a lot of people are like, oh, what are you going to do with that? Well, you know, as well as I do with our Hobaica bucks, you can buy gift cards. You can buy for anything work related. You can get an Amazon gift card, like all these different gift cards. And then we have our gift card program. That's something totally different. But basically, you use the gift cards to buy pretty much wherever you want. And the thing is, Alan, this is the two most powerful things. I'll have technicians that walk into a meeting and they got 60 freaking reviews. What's 60 times $50? That's a lot of freaking money. To where at the end of the day, when they buy something with that money, so maybe they buy Visa gift cards and they go out to the store and they buy, you know, a new thing for their kids or a new gaming system or something for their car, or maybe they pay something, you know, pay a bill with it. Every time they look at that item they bought, they're going to remember where they got it. It was from Hobaica bucks. It's like, man, I better go get some more reviews, or I better go get some more referrals.
I love it. Look, you know, you're jumping into reviews is an amazing way to grow your company, right? And when you realize that like paying there's contractors here, their thinking is just not right. And there's contractors in the industry, sorry, that are sitting on this. Well, we can't afford to pay $50 for every review, and look, we probably don't want to go too deep in that, but
well, you know, as well as I do, Alan, it costs a lot more than $50 to create a new customer.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and you know, I get a lot of pushback. You know, I talk about using specials and discounted drain clears, and you know, when we worked out that the average drain customer for us could generate $10,000 for their lifetime. I mean, holy shit. The $50 spiff, I'm not too sure what you call it, to the technician for the review, and all those positive reviews, it all helps, you know. But a lot of interesting conversations that have been had around the mindset of technicians towards, if you do a discounted tune-up, you'll go broke, or if you do a discounted, but hang on, let's look at the big picture here. Let's look at the fact that what's that customer actually worth to you? And especially if they come back for, you guys do multiple services, right? You do air conditioning, you do plumbing.
Correct.
Why wouldn't a customer that's been using Hobaica for all these years, that loves your air conditioning services, why wouldn't they be using for their plumbing
and electrical? Yeah, so
electrical.
So at the end of the day, exactly, owning the home, and we talked about this before. How many times in the past, and I will not give them a shout out, but their name starts with a P. Big player in Arizona, and at the end of the day, they are the big dogs. They are 10 times the size of me. But at the end of the day, if we're on the same ball field, I can win most of those relationships because I think we have a better culture. But at the end of the day, it's still a good company. But they were stealing a lot of my business because we'd be doing the air conditioning for 10, 20, 15, 20 years. And then that company came in, did a toilet or a water heater for them, and offered them a free check on the air conditioning. And all of a sudden, no longer using Hobaica. So it was a real kind of slap in the face and shooting ourselves in the foot for not offering just a little bit. And then you offer a little bit of plumbing, and then it blows the hell up. And we love plumbing now, but we also offer electrical. I only have 4 to 5 electricians that are also cross-trained in HVAC, but electrical is big as well. We're doing a couple panels a week, and that's big money. But, you know, when you're talking about plumbing, you know as well as I do, Alan, we offer a lot of free service calls. We offer a free, camera sewer inspection on anything, to where you could have a technician out there and listen to this. So another, spiffable moment, but helping out the customer. We promote our technicians every time they go out for HVAC, every time they go out for electrical, anytime they go out for anything like that, to ask the customer, hey, before you leave, did you receive our most recent flyer in the mail? I have one right here if you didn't get one. But it's offering all these free products. We're just trying to help our homeowners out. We're trying to help them solve a problem before it actually becomes one with our free camera snake sewer inspection. So when's the last time you had your sewer inspected with a snake camera? Because if you've never had it, I'd recommend doing it every 5 to 6 years. So if you've never had it, we'll come over at no charge just to snake it. Now, if you're in good condition, we're going to tell you that. But if not, at least if there's a problem that might happen, we can at least plan for that. And it doesn't just happen and now you have no plumbing for 2 weeks. When you can't use your bathroom or turn on your sink for a couple of weeks, it's even worse than not having air conditioning in the middle of the summer. So when you can't use your toilets, how much your wife going to love her house then? So at the end of the day, we offer that free snake camera inspection. And Alan, I'm sorry to say, but most homes in Phoenix have never had that inspection. And most homes do not have a good plumbing job. So at the end of the day, might be 40, 50, 60 years old. And that's why we sold a couple hundred liners this year. So it's just insanity.
I want you to stop trying to sell me on what I'm trying to sell you, my friend. I
No, I know.
know for a
Agreed.
fact, and I'm going to challenge you on this one. Connect me up with Chase. I do know that the years that I've spent not just working with successful contractors like Hobaica, but some of the most successful drain companies on the planet. And I believe that the systems and the processes that I teach, any company, I don't care how good they are, how big they are. They can start with P or they can start with G. It doesn't really matter. I do know that I can add value in helping those companies get more revenue. Those drain calls, and you've hit it on the head. Those drain calls are worth so much money to the company, especially if you integrate technology, which is what I'm all about. You integrate trenchless, no-dig solutions, specials. Many contractors are against specials, but I tell you, if you do it right and you know your numbers and you know what gross margin potential will come from the drain, it's amazing. So we'll talk separately on that. So,
well, Alan, because of your guidance and our friendship, it's the first thing I'm going to bring up when I walk over to my new boss's office after this meeting.
look, I work with companies. I can do as little or as much as they want. We can for a couple of $100 a week, we can change the trajectory of the drain business, So, but
you just gave me a great idea, Alan. You talk about a podcast that's just focused on services. Chase would be an amazing guest.
let's get Chase on.
And then you can firsthand pressure him and just wait for a response. He's good under pressure.
I've said this before, and I don't want to sound too selfish here, but if no one listened to this podcast, which is, I haven't got the Joe Rogan audience, but if no one listened to the podcast, I get so much from this myself. And the guests that I get are amazing. I'm always learning, even at my age. And, I've been through some amazing business highs and business lows as we all go through the challenges of running a service company. But, yeah, look, just every time I get on with someone like you, Andy, got some really dynamic guests coming up as well. And I think you know who we're talking about. Companies that names start with A. Yeah, so like I said, the value that you guys bring is it blows me away. So now, definitely love to I'm going to get your dad on, the famous Lou, and I'd love to get Chase on. So I'll connect up with those guys. And cool. So today we've covered a lot. I'd like to just hit you up for a book recommendation or a podcast recommendation, something that's going to get our listeners headspace heading in the right direction when they're sitting in traffic, maybe a podcast or maybe an audio book or something. I'm all about Windshield University, and that's something else that you touched on, videos and stuff for our technicians to get their headspace right. So what's your recommendation for someone? And don't tell me it's Not Giving an F, the book, and I have read that.
Still my favorite audio by far. But no, new favorite audio. I've actually listened to it 1.5 times. I need to finish it a second time, and the second time I'm actually getting new stuff out of it. But are you a follower of Patrick Bet-David?
Absolutely.
Patrick Bet-David's newest book, an audio book. It's phenomenal. Your Next 5 Moves.
Yeah, that's yeah, I think I was one of the first to get that book when he released it probably a year ago. But he's got another one out called, I think, Know Your Enemies or something, which is also, I don't know if that's actually released yet, but he's fantastic. His podcast
Yeah,
is
know your enemies. I think got released. I don't think the audio's out yet, but I heard him
right.
talking about it on Dropping Bombs. Yeah.
Yeah, Your Next 5
Yep.
Moves is a very, very, very good book. And yeah,
It
we're
is.
on the
It
same
is.
page with Patrick. So again,
And then
Andy,
lastly is, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, but recently I kind of stirred back to podcasts are really good when they're listening to two people like you and I, right? But every now and then you just want to listen to someone talk, and you always pick something up from his short segments. They're about 30 seconds. Is Bedros Keuilian.
right? Okay, yeah,
So I'm
I
trying to say his spell his name real quick so no one gets it wrong. So it's Bedros, Bedros, and then Keuilian is Keuilian, the Bedros Keuilian podcast show. It's really good. He does little 30, 40 minute, sometimes 15, 20-minute segments, and it's all about motivation, how to implement it, how to do it right. And it's good stuff. You'd really like it.
like it already. The fact that you recommended it, my man. So okay, so I'll let you close out with some details, and some of our listeners might not have listened to the previous episodes. So some contact details. How do we get a hold of Andy? And I'll let you close out there. And yeah, thanks again for improving my day as well as
I
all of our
appreciate it.
listeners.
I really appreciate it, Alan. I got a lot of love for you, and I can't wait to see you next in person because you're a real fun and interesting person to hang out with. And don't forget, when I first came on your podcast, my dad said, "You're going to like this guy. I think he's the only person that says fuck the more than you do."
Well,
So
I haven't
we
fucked episode.
yeah. So we both have those potty mouths. But Alan, the easiest way to follow me, I don't care if it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. It's just Andy Hobaica. Oh, and newly on TikTok. So I was really closed off with the whole TikTok bullshit, man. That's for young kids. I don't want to be on that crap. I'll be honest, man. I started uploading some videos to TikTok, and a couple of them went viral in the wrong direction. You post a video, and it went viral because you had people saying like, "This guy's an idiot," or "F you," or "Shut up," dude. The people that get mad, that's the post that got like 40,000 views because all these people kept commenting on it. And I responded to almost every single person and said, "I hope you have a great day and thank you for the engagement." It was great. And that literally that one post created like thousands of followers for me. So it was funny. And then the same people that wrote something negative that only watched 4 seconds of my 30-second video, they watched other videos and they're like, "Hey, this guy's not that bad of a guy. I like him." So it was actually pretty funny to see the content that people watch 3 to 5 seconds of a video that's a minute long, and then they judge you on that, 3 to 5 seconds versus watching the whole thing and seeing that, hey, he's not saying stop listening to music. He's saying listen to podcasts and audiobooks instead of listening to music. But, we'll finish it off as, I like finishing a lot off. Focusing on 2024, I would recommend to everybody. So I do this on my normal daily life. I know Alan does as well, but everybody, I don't care if you're in a grocery store and someone's behind you, they're not talking to you, engage that person. You have no idea if the person behind you is either your next customer, maybe your next employee, maybe your next coach or life mentor. You have no idea who that person is. At the least, you're going to turn around, say hi, start a relationship. Maybe they're having a bad day and you created a relationship out of that. And maybe you stop them from doing something bad later on, or saying, you know what? Maybe not everyone's so shitty in the world. There actually are some nice people. That random guy, Andy, I met in Fry's last week. He was really nice. And then a week later, holy crap, I remember someone, talking about their plumbing problem on Facebook. I got to recommend Andy. I know if he was that nice to me in a random grocery store, that he'll do good service for my friend. And you create this long lasting relationship from a person that was standing behind you in the grocery store that you would have never talked to because, it's getting out of your comfort zone. So getting out of your comfort zone and talking to everyone. And we talked about last time, the red car theory. There's opportunities everywhere. A recent podcast I went on, people said, Andy, what gym do you go to? You're in pretty good shape. I'm like, I go to Lifetime Fitness. And they're like, man, that's like $200 a month. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, $200 a month for a gym. You can go to the gym for $10 a month. I'm like, yeah, but the difference of the $10 gym and the gym that's $200 a month is that $200 a month people are go-getters. So lots of salespeople, lots of business owners, lots of people that want to wake up and feel good at 4 a.m. like myself, when a normal average person is sleeping, and then getting to the normal $10 gym at 9 or 10 o'clock. To be honest, I don't want to surround myself with the 9 or 10 o'clock people. I want to surround myself with people that have the same vision and drive that I have. And that's why I come on your podcast, Alan. You're one of those people. To where at the end of the day, if I'm going to a gym that's costing $200 a month, but I'm gaining 10 to 30 to 40 customers a year that's spending on an average of 15 to 20 grand with me, and creating a friendship with those people and being able to refer their business, it's a win-win for everyone. Up your comfort zone, get rid of it, talk to everyone, and surround yourself with like-minded individuals that want the same path that you do, and you'll just have a better life all around. And we'll end it with that, baby.
Thank you, Andy. Love your work. You're an amazing human, and look forward to another podcast. But I'm going to get your dad, get Lou, and get Chase on the podcast, and then we'll revert back. So
Beautiful.
good to see you, my man. Have a fantastic day, and look forward to catching up with you next time.
You as well, brother.
Cheers, Andy.